What's up, traders? Before we dive into the video, I just want to quickly remind you guys about our Black Friday sale that is taking place from now until November 29th at 12 a.m. Eastern. You can now use the code BFCM, which stands for Black Friday Cyber Monday, to get 20% off everything site-wide other than one-on-one mentorship. So make sure to take advantage of that, and I hope to see you in the private community very soon. Cheers. What's up, gang? Zach here from the Trading Network. I hope you guys are doing well. I have yet another trade breakdown for you all. This is a trade that I took last week on NQ based on a long opportunity zone setup, which many of you may know that is our trending strategy that we use on a daily basis in the Trading Network. I traded this on live stream, broke it down, and I, of course, have this video muted for both the sake of the video's quality as well as the protection of our private Discord members. But the theme of this video in general is going to be to trust your edge, even if the trade takes a little longer than it normally does and it never gets invalidated. Let your edge do its job. So I'm going to break down the technical checkboxes, the factors that I was looking at to take this setup. I will break it down. I will explain my thought process while I was in this trade. I will likely speed through it because the video is about 15 minutes long. But really the main idea here is that we don't want to get in the way of our edge working itself out, even if it takes a little longer. So what I was looking at here in this particular setup was we have a long opportunity zone setup presenting itself. What that means is we have a nice spread or a gap between the 21 and 50 EMA. This is the opportunity zone. This indicator is a part of the TTN proprietary indicator package, as well as pretty much everything else you see here on chart. So what I was waiting for was a local low inside of the opportunity zone to enter, right? So a local low is when we have a bullish candle close above the top of the prior bar. And if I go ahead and I click play, you guys will see that as soon as we print this local low, which is this current candle closing above the top of this prior purple bar, I enter, right? So I'm waiting, I'm watching the tick counter down here. The candle closes and boom, I am in for 2 contracts there. And you will see that it does rather immediately start to work in my favor, except I don't quickly take profit. I don't quickly take profit because my target in this case is an area of dense liquidity. It is a collection of major profile levels, including the point of control from the November 16th session, the range high from the November 17th session, which we had just established right there. It was also an overnight low area and a range low area. You can see this 11,764 level. That is the regular trading hours low as well. I believe that was from the 15th session. So I had an area of dense liquidity, which basically just means there are a lot of orders sitting there. And typically, when price moves through areas of dense liquidity, it seeks the next area, right? So here, this is where I'm basing my risk off of. We have the settlement price from the 15th. We have the value area low from the 16th. We have the opportunity zone, and that is excellent protection for my stop loss. That's why this is such a high probability trade setup, because we have several technical checkboxes in our favor. We have the momentum oscillators curling and crossing up. We have the volatility oscillators curling and crossing up, indicating there's a likely expansion in volatility on the horizon. We have major profile levels as well as the op zone, as well as a probe, which is this upwards trend line right here, creating good support. So although this is uncomfortable to see price move back in the direction of your stop loss almost immediately upon entering, this trade idea is not invalid until or unless settlement breaks, the op zone breaks, the probe breaks, and value area low breaks to the downside. So I have several things protecting my stop loss. And again, that's why I don't falter in these situations. That's why I don't get afraid or impulsively close my trade, especially when it's an op zone setup. I have seen so many op zone setups play out in my trading career that I trust them with every single fiber of my being. I can trade op zones in my sleep. Now, I know that may sound cocky or egotistical. It's not. It's simply because I have seen this pattern happen so many times. And of course, past performance doesn't equal future results, but this is a game of probability. If I know that the op zone works in a directional environment 7, 8 out of 10 times, or 70 or 80 out of 100 times, or even 800 times out of 1,000, I'm going to have significant trust in this setup, and I'm going to let it play out, win or lose. That is one of the most important things, and that's a really important lesson that I want to get across in this video. Unless your trade is technically invalid or you have a contingency plan to close, for example, do not close your trade prematurely. Just let it play out, allow your edge to work. So you can see I'm going to fast forward this trade a little bit. I flip over to ES just to see what's going on over there. Now I am, $200 plus in drawdown in this trade, as you can see right here, but I'm still not getting afraid. I'm still not considering closing the trade at all. You can see how close I am to my stop loss, right? I'm risking 14 points on this trade, and my target is 20 points, right? So that's over a 1-to-1 risk to reward. That is what it's all about. That is prime risk to reward. This is a high probability setup, and you will see very soon here that not only is the trade still valid, it actually becomes more valid, even more valid, because we are printing bullish divergence. When you have bullish divergence inside the op zone, it's such a high probability setup that when I saw this, I should have really added, in hindsight, I journaled this and I told myself that in the future, if I get into an op zone trade and then it prints divergence inside the op zone, I will add to that setup because it becomes even higher probability. And again, this is why I only put on half size, basically, or 2 contracts at first, was because it wasn't an A+. We had everything but divergence, essentially, so it was very close. Call it an A setup, but I didn't put on full size because it wasn't my A+ setup, if that makes sense. So you can see here, after the divergence is confirmed, once again, with this local low inside of the opportunity zone, price does start to move in my favor. The oscillators continue to curl and cross up to the upside. The volatility oscillators are also further confirming that expansion in volatility is indeed likely, and that this trade is still 100% valid, and once again, even more valid than it was when I originally entered. So as I fast forward this trade, you can see that price does begin to retest these prior highs right here. And typically, when price moves above established levels of resistance, you get a nice impulse move of all of these folks that are short with their stop losses above these highs. The stop losses get run, and it will give you a really nice move, propelling price further towards or into your target. So that is exactly what happens here. You'll see as I fast forward, price comes right back down, right to my entry, puts me in a little bit of drawdown, but once again, never violates that prior low that we have established with the divergence, right? So I sit in this trade, and I'm talking this out live on stream. And folks that are in this trade with me, I'm sure, are getting nervous, they're getting scared, they're, wanting to take the $200 and run. Myself, I am not interested in doing that. I got in this trade for a reason, because it was such a high probability that we move into this dense area of liquidity that I want to try my very best to capture as much profit as possible, because this, once again, is such a high probability trade idea. So although price moves around and it's chopping up and it is uncomfortable, it's never, ever invalidated, not one time. It becomes more valid. We put in a low, that's where I entered. We put in divergence, a local low, and then we put in a higher low in the op zone, right? This trade just continues to get more and more valid, and most people are just sick of sitting in a trade that's going, up in their favor by $200 or $300, then down, putting them in drawdown or putting them break even. And it's so important to trust your edge and really just stop thinking about the what ifs and allow your edge to work out. So I'm going to continue to fast forward this. Price comes right to my entry once again. Very, very uncomfortable for a lot of traders, but me, I've seen this happen so many times. This is absorbing liquidity in and around this area around my entry to make that move. So watch what happens when we finally push above these prior highs. Watch how fast the reaction is. That's me flipping over to the algo real quick, and the algo was also long for what it's worth. And you can see, let me go back here. You can see here that price basically gets almost instantly propelled towards my take profit as soon as we run these prior highs. So boom, I am out for one, and then I have one left, and I'm basically waiting for further reaction. I am trailing my stop. I have my stop in profit, right, by 6 points or so. And I'm basically just waiting for the market to tell me to get out. And that is typically my contingency plan is a local top, right? So it's the opposite of what I'm getting in on. So this candle closes below the low of this. That is a local top. That is my contingency plan. And that is where I exit. So you'll see in a lot of my scalping videos, I will enter on a local low if I'm getting long, and I will exit on a local top at or around my target area if price does not hit my target. And in this example, I just remove my target because I'm waiting for the market to tell me what to do. You have to be flexible. You have to adapt. And sure, I could have just left, the resting orders up here, but I wanted to see what price would do. I wanted to see if price would continue into this overnight POC, and it does not. It puts in a local top, and you will see here very, very quickly, if I go ahead and fast forward, I take profit on the next local top right there, okay? So you'll see I could have taken profit right here. I waited for the next candle. This next candle closed bullish, so I waited for one more push to the upside. We got that push to the upside. We printed the local top right here around the overnight POC, right in this dense area of liquidity. We have 4 major market profile levels within 10 points of each other, right? So that's going to be more difficult for price to immediately chew through, if that makes sense. When it's a dense area of liquidity, when there are a lot of orders stacked up, it makes it so price needs to move up, get an initial rejection typically, and then kind of chew through those orders slowly but surely, or absorb enough liquidity below the major levels to push through it. So that's why you saw a pushback here initially, and then a move up to the next major level, and then we get another pullback there where we put in a second local top, and I am out well above a 1-to-1 risk to reward ratio. So that is that. That was another just excellent high probability setup. And you can see after that second local top, that price continues to move right back down into the opportunity zone, very likely to set up for another trade. But here's my trade right here. Look how long this took. I know you guys are used to seeing me, post videos that are like $1,000 in 2 minutes. But guess what? This was about $700, and it took, 15 minutes or so. While not a very long trade, much longer than my typical trade expectancy as far as time goes. So one thing that I was really proud of myself, and one thing that a lot of traders watching me take this trade live were talking about, was that most traders in general are out on a situation like that. I mean, most traders will get in here and then see this and then automatically close without considering that their technical level of invalidation has never been violated, right? Not once did we move below this area right here. We never broke below the probe. We never closed multiple candlesticks below the opportunity zone even. So the trade just continued to get more and more valid. I entered on the local low. We got divergence confirmed here. That confirmed my trade was even more valid. We put in another higher low here. We put in another higher low here, and off we went right into the zone that I was targeting. So this was a great trade, although it wasn't, a banger by any means P&L wise. $700 in 15 minutes, it's hard to complain about that. And I think there was a very important lesson to be had walking through this trade and breaking it down for you guys. So I hope that you are finding value in this as I see it. So I'm going to go ahead and wrap this video here. I want to thank you guys, as always, for taking the time to watch this content. If you do enjoy what you see, please feel free to like, subscribe, and click that bell notification to be notified every single time we post videos here on the channel. If you want to learn more about my strategies, such as the Opportunity Zone, which I broke down here, if you're interested in learning more about these tools, check out thetradingnetwork.io, where you can purchase access to our most popular product, the TTN Pro Trader Bundle, which includes lifetime Discord access, the proprietary indicator package, as well as our Fundamentals of Futures Trading course. You can, of course, purchase all of those products standalone on our website as well, in addition to one-on-one mentorship with me. And if you guys have any questions about anything I've discussed here in this video, or any questions about what we have to offer on our website, feel free to drop them in the comments below. You can also email us at info@thetradingnetwork.io or message us on Instagram, the.trading.network. I absolutely suggest that you guys follow us on IG as well. A lot of great content, especially in our stories. But that is pretty much it. I appreciate you guys once more. Thank you very much for taking the time, and I will see you in the next video. Cheers.